So the next video that we're going to be considering in the Hydrotherm How-To series is one of the muscles of the hamstrings, so the back of the thigh. Now, interestingly, the word hamstrings actually comes from two words. The word meaning hom, or the hook, the hollow on the back of the knee, and strings, which responds to the look of this area when the muscles are tense. So this string-like representation of the tendons through here. So you know that hamstrings are always relating to muscles that connect into the hollow at the back of the knee. Okay. The specific hamstring that we're looking at today is Biceps femoris. The name bicep means two heads. So this muscle has a long head and a short head that sits deeper to the long head. And femoris means relating to the femur. And so this muscle articulates the two joints that relate to the femur. Biceps femoris then, if we look at the origins, first of all, of the long head. So the long head attaches to the ischial tuberosity, which is again that sitting bone that we have in the buttock, and the sacrotuberous ligament, which is the ligament that attaches the sacrum to the ischial tuberosity. So it attaches into both those areas through here, that's the long head, and then comes down the back of the leg. The short head attaches to the linea aspera and the distal third of it. So the third that's furthest away from the center of the body. And the linea aspera, the word literally, or the two words literally mean rough line. So it's the line that runs down the back of the femur, and that muscle attaches to the distal third of it. Those two muscles then join into a tendon, the biceps femoral tendon, which attaches onto the head of the fibula, and it also attaches to the lateral collateral ligament. So that's the ligament that links across the lateral part of the knee joint, connects the femur and the fibula through here. So that's the insertion for both muscles. The actions are now if we look at the short head first, so the short head flexes the knee and also laterally rotates the fibula. The long head also flexes the knee and also laterally rotates the fibula, but it also extends the hip. If I now look at the massage techniques relative to the hamstrings, some of these will obviously link into the work we've done on the quads previously, and also link into the glutes, so do check out those other videos as well. You can see that we've got the same kind of access because of the water with Hydrotherm. We've got the same access to the whole of the back of the leg. We can work on both sides, okay? And we can work with fingertips, we can work with knuckles, we can work across the muscle fibers and cause a ringing sensation. But we've got this whole ability to have the leg as relaxed as it can be in this position. We can abduct the knee and we can adduct the knee, which means we can switch off particular muscles that might trigger tension here. And in comparison to having the leg flat, the hamstring is much more relaxed. You can get nice deep pressure, some nice tractional work into the hamstrings and come right the way down to the insertion of biceps femoris, which we spoke about, and then continue on following chains of muscle or following lines of fascia down into the lower part of the leg. The client never has to hold their leg. I don't have to support the knee with one hand and then work with another hand. I can work both sides. We've obviously got the warmth here, the Hydrotherm providing direct warmth, and then the heating system maintaining the temperature of the Hydrotherm. So my client's never going to be lying on cold water. But also, because the leg can move and the hip can move, it means the lower back is much more likely to stay relaxed if my client has to lie for a significant amount of time in this position. All in all, this is the most comfortable position that I find that there is in massage to work on my client's back of the leg, or back of the thigh, I should say, without compromising their comfort without having to expose the client unnecessarily, keeping the area warm so I can prepare this area. I do a lot of preparation with my sports people here. I might move away and then come back and do deeper work, and I've allowed the heat to have a physiological and to a certain degree a holistic effect in releasing discomfort in problem areas so that I can come back and I can focus on them more effectively. But we still have this three-dimensional access, which I spoke about when we talked about the quads, which allows us then to work with antagonists and agonists simultaneously, as opposed to with a standard massage where we have to split our leg work, do half of one side, go to the other side, and then turn the client over again. Now, from an holistic point of view, the upper part of the leg relates to those energies that are moving us towards where we're trying to get to, or indeed trying to stop us from going in a direction where we don't want to go. So we think about putting the brakes on, digging our heels in, pushing ourselves backwards, or propelling ourselves forwards. It's important to understand the difference between energy that's momentum, like keeping something going, and what I would call acceleration and drive. And we'll be talking about drive and acceleration in a different video. But here, consider the back of the legs to relate to momentum. So what is it that keeps something going, right the way towards completion, because the origin of the hamstrings is right into the ischial tuberosity, right into the base of the spine, which is where completion would be. So if you think of it like a race, you could steadily start, keep going, and then just get to the finish line all in one pace. That's what the hamstrings would relate to. Accelerating at the beginning or pushing through to the finish line would be a different energy, right? But the back of the leg, in holistic terms, is about how much does your momentum and you keeping going come from you? Does it come from how I think about my past performance? Does it come from what I think will be the effect of reaching my goal? Those energies are very different to, is there support around me? Are there adversities in my environment? Those are more on the front of the leg. So whether I think I've got the talent, I've got the stamina, I've got the ability to keep something going or to keep going myself would much more relate to the back of the legs. If I want to relax this area with clients, I quite often will just get them to imagine being on a treadmill, and that treadmill represented by their work and where they're trying to get to with work, or their health routine and them trying to stay healthy and not get unfit. And then I invite them to just step off that treadmill, even just for the time that they're here. There's nowhere to get to, there's nothing to get away from, there's nothing pulling them back, and there's nothing trying to push them forward. And quite often you can see noticeable changes in the position of the leg and how it feels. Clients report their legs feel really light. It's almost like the body decides that they don't really need to be sending any energy or any effort to this area. They can just float along. And I often get them to imagine the hydrotherm then almost like a cloud they're floating on, or them like floating on a slow moving river, which is moving towards where they want to get to. They don't have to put any effort in to cause progress.